Mel Robbins books, Let Them. And this is about how to navigate people who don't think very nice things about you and might say things that you don't like. And coming from Britain, we've all been taught to be very people-pleasing generally, and to be polite, to be the good girl. And over the last year, I've had some experiences with some people who, again, don't have the same values as you, and that's expected in life, is it not? And deep down, that 4.5-year-old me is always worried what people think. And a lot of us do. We don't want to be rejected, do we? But what I learned from that book in very clear terms is, let them show you who they are. Now, what Mel meant by that and what I've experienced is, if you let people just do their thing, they're going to show you who they are. And if you've invited them to your party or whatever, and they're always, oh, I'm busy or something's happening, then they're letting you know that you're not actually that important in their life. And I've got some wonderful lady clients in my hypnotherapy practice who have very nice males that they're dating, and they're making excuses for them. They're saying, well, he's got a son, or, he's still not got over his ex-girlfriend. He doesn't want to commit. He's still, on the rebound. He's thinking about it. Lots of different excuses. And at the end of the day, I find with most men, and my husband will probably back me up on this, if a guy or a person really wants to be with you, then they're going to move their diary to be with you. And if they're making excuses all the time, then they are showing you who they are. Does that make sense? Now, over the last year, both my daughters have had struggles. They're both teenage girls. And we've all been teenagers. We've all had rifts with best friends, and things have gone awry. And hands up, I'm not the perfect parent. Certainly not the perfect parent. My mum died many years ago, and I don't have her as a reference point, but gone on intuition. And being a hypnotherapist, psychologist, and healer, I always like to make sure that I'm coming from a space of love, understanding that we all need to be loved, and everybody reacts in a completely different way. And my children aren't perfect either. They certainly aren't. They've made some very big mistakes over the last year, and maybe said or done things that they probably shouldn't have, but they take responsibility for it, and they apologize, and they move on like anybody would. But over the last year, deep down, I've always thought that I have high integrity, that I come from a space of truth, and always want to come from a kind space. And that's been challenged over the last year. And then you start to think, well, what's wrong with me? And from the age of 4.5, that was my main operandi, my modus operandi. What is wrong with me in relationships, in work? I always thought that I was the cause of the problem in many cases. And at the end of the day, that's not true. And if you're feeling that, just take a step back and go, hang on a minute, who's winning here? What am I making it mean? And sometimes we just make things mean a whole lot more than they need to. And in today's social media, like with my children, if someone doesn't respond to their text message in 2 minutes, the whole world ends. Oh, they're ghosting me, or what do they call it? I've forgotten. Anyway, the kids have a particular term for it. But if they're not responding within that 2 or 3 minutes, it's like, oh, I'm not worthy. And the same with social media. If someone doesn't like my post, if I've just got the one like, you see those stupid posts with a dog going around in a tin, and they get 3 million likes. Again, it's just indicative of our society that sometimes the values have gone awry. And the bottom line is, we are all amazing people. We all want to be loved. We all want to be accepted. We all want to belong. And everybody reacts in a different way. So if somebody comes at you and you know in your heart that what you've done or what you think you've done is right, and you're coming from that space of integrity, then you've got to get to the point where you don't give a shit what other people think, because even your family has horrible thoughts about you. And did you know, I'm going to say this in many videos, that we have 70,000 thoughts a day. And some of us are getting really hung up on that one thought from someone across the other side of town that doesn't like you and says things that aren't true about you. And do you want to give that energy when you know at the end of the day that that person's not going to change? And if you engage with that person, they're just going to throw things at you. And I've had lots of patience with mental challenges over the last year, and you've got to handle them in a particular way. You don't want to put fuel on the fire and give them that ammunition to come back at you, because they will. Because everything in their mind is justifying their defense mechanism. It's fight or flight for them, and they'll do anything to fight tooth and nail to make sure that their truth is right. And that doesn't include your peace of mind. So at the end of the day, you've got to advise that they get professional help, and you have to take a step back, because engaging with someone that does have personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, or bipolar, you're going to get a very non-balanced reaction, and it's not their fault. I'm not putting blame on anyone there. We don't choose to have mental illness, but there's a shit ton out there, and that's why I'm very busy. The point I'm trying to make is you've got to be aware of what your boundaries are, what you will and won't accept. And remember to stay in your own ground, to stay in your own peace. And my biggest tool of sanity is meditation, is connecting to the earth, being out in nature, and remembering that we're all here to be loved. And we're all connected whether we like it or not. So whether that neighbor doesn't like you, whether that ex-friend doesn't like you, at the end of the day, you can't keep putting your energy into it, because we've got to live in the now. We've got to focus on what brings us joy. And if they're not supporting us, and they're not, I'm going to use the word frequency, if they're not at your frequency, you have to just move on and let it go, and let them go with love. Because unfortunately, a lot of people in this world will not change. They don't want to change. They don't have the willingness to change. And I have tried to change so many people and help so many people with my work. And sometimes people just aren't ready. They're not in the space. So if in that space now where you're being taken advantage of, where you're being bullied, you're in a relationship with a narcissist, you're feeling down because you don't feel like you have control, well, you do. With one thought, you can say, I am in control. I am in control. And you make that decision, you make that choice with one thought, that you're not going to accept that anymore, and you're just going to be you. And everybody else can fuck off. As long as you're not hurting anyone, you're releasing people that don't serve you and don't support you, then I think it's cool, as long as you're not hurting anybody else. So stand in your truth, know what you believe in, and let go of everything else. And remember, let them show you who they are, and they will. So I hope that has helped you today. It's certainly helped me the last few days, just get some clarity on certain things that have happened over the last year. As I said, no one's perfect. My children aren't perfect. There's a lot of things that we've learned. But at the end of the day, we always want to come for that space of groundedness, of kindness, and knowing that at the end of the day, we're all one. But we have a certain amount of life force energy. And you want to make sure that you're putting that into things that lift you, that inspire you, that follow your passion and your purpose, why you're here, and do it to the best of your ability. And that's what I do. I love healing people. I love hypnotizing people to be a better, stronger, shinier version of who they are. And my job really is to uncover and let go of the shit that people have had attached to them and put on them by authority figures, relationships, people over their whole lifetime. And once you let go of all those beliefs that just do not serve you, all that space in your mind that is cramping your style, then you become a whole new person, and you attract and bring in the right people, places, circumstances, and things to make your life incredible. So wherever you are, if you're feeling that space where you're feeling that pressure, that cramp, you're not sleeping, you've got the anxiety, you're people pleasing, you know that you're stuck and you can't get out of that loop, then please reach out to me. I'll put a link below this video to have literally a 5-10 minute chat with me. Doesn't cost anything, it's free. And if anything, it's not pressure, it's just clarity. All right, you'll get my energy and love. And then if you want to work together, great. If not, you'll be on a much higher frequency for the rest of the day. So love and light from me, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you very soon. Bye for now.